It's Nick Say Wolfbrenner here doing a little solo casting. Oh god, I hate solo casting. But tonight on the docket, we got two teams that should know the majority of the players. I need to fix this pick screen so you guys can actually see who the hell's in the games. But we have Team Influence versus the beginning of the end. Team Influence players are Chloe, Servant Eric, Cool Dude 420 aka Chunks, Cat Soda, and Lena Slayer versus MLG Pornstar, Frost, True Mentality, RNT, and Street Ganker, which is Drew Smacktrick's team. So they are already through, it looks like, the banning phase and the first couple picks, so let's give a little rundown of that. So it looks like Chloe banned out Warbeast and Parasite, and MLG Pornstar, which I'm pretty sure is Drew, banned out Moria and Ophelia. So taking out arguably one of the top tier first picks in Warbeast and the top tier support currently in the meta. And then two of your run-of-the-mill junglers that are, you know, coveted in that jungle position. Looks like Chloe went with the Klanx first pick, and Drew followed it up with the MLG Pornstar Midas pickup. And we're going to see what comes out from
Magmus.
Team Influence here. So, Chloe does end up picking up the Magmus. Man. What do we got here? This is the first time I'm actually running, This is the first time I'm running a delay on a stream, so if for some reason it doesn't work out, I'll probably just go back to the standard however many second delay. It's sad Smack is already heavily outdrafted after the first two picks. So we do see the Midas and the Fayde come out. Fayde has seen a re-emergence on the scene recently, especially after DreamHack Summer, where we saw the Tide teams pick it up all the time, and a hero that was considered really dead in the competitive scene was brought back to light whenever the Tide teams ran it in the fashion that they did. So definitely they definitely favored the heroes that had higher mobility, and I guess you see that coming out with the Midas and the Fayde in those two positions. And typically they would pair that with something that would you know, be a hard carry that had high mobility, whether that be a Sandwraith or something along those lines. But we'll see if Smacktrix has the opportunity to make that pick later on down the line. We do see that Chloe ends up picking up the Behemoth, so I imagine Behemoth will probably... Well, see, Behemoth is one of those heroes that is really big on the scene right now, but he can play almost in every lane. He could play as your support hero. He could play as your offlane hero. Hell, he can even play as the mid if you're trying to get him a fast portal key. Last post. You should do something about this on webs. But it looks like the next round of bans is coming out. Fayde has banned Bloodhunter. So Chloe lets the first ban go to Bloodhunter. Don't know why. He let all his time expire. I wonder if he timed out. There's probably a good chance that he timed out. Oh no, he didn't time out. Okay, so he banned Oogie. Drew bans out Cthulhu Font, and yeah, like I said before, Chloe follows it up with the Oogie ban. Smacktrix bans out Aluna. Aluna is another one of those heroes that sort of fell off the competitive scene recently. That there was a serious reemergence with that particular hero. But I didn't cover that the third pick that the beginning of the end did pick up, and they did pick up that Tempest. So once you get the portal key on Tempest, he is a relatively high mobility hero, and they do have the push factor that comes out with him. So they have relatively decent creep clearing potential in the Midas and the Tempest at this point. Well, I guess not creep clearing potential, but pushing potential in the Midas and the Tempest at this point. But it looks like the last two bans were the Kinesis and Andromeda. Kinesis is an interesting ban because it must be a preferential ban for Chloe. Either that or there's somebody on the Hellborn team that has really good repertoire when it comes to using Kinesis. I don't see Jeppins over there, so we'll see. We'll see what these next several pickups are. So we do see the Riftwalker come out for the Legion team. They are setting this up to have pretty ridiculous wombo combo at this point with the Magmus ultimate, the Behemoth ultimate, and obviously the Riftwalker ultimate. All huge AoE spells. Two of those heroes are going to require a blink. Riftwalker not so much.
Balphamgore.
And there's the final pick for the wombo combo. So we have Balphamgore, Riftwalker, Behemoth, Magmus, all huge AoE ultis, followed it up with Klanx, who has essentially the best AoE auto attack in the game. And there's the Sandwraith that I talked about earlier. So we have the pairing of the Fayde and the Sandwraith, along with the Empath that will obviously be set to babysit the Sandwraith and jump in him before he ulties. We have your Midas offlaner, your Tempest jungler. Your Fayde's probably going to be solo middle. I imagine that's how they're going to run it. Versus your Klanx farmer, your Magmus middle with
Let's get it on.
maybe solo? Behemoth offlaner, Riftwalker, and Balphamgore bottom. And it looks like we're going to be jumping into the game here. Cookie cutter draft. Chunks says it best. Cookie cutter draft. I need to close this, close this, close this, close this. And I need to set some stuff here, guys. So, we are into the game. I need to set some audio settings so I can't hear people talk. Give me a second. Mic level, push to talk. Voice chat volume, boom, all the way down. Apply. Go back. Alright, so, gotta pause to take my deep comment. Let me zoom out a little bit here, and like I said, I think the lanes are pretty cookie cutter. I think the draft is a pretty cookie cutter draft. If the Legion team can pull off the wombo combo, I imagine. Let me do some /IC here. /IC. Boom. Alright, so there we go. But I imagine if the Legion team can pull off the wombo combo executed properly, you're going to see some short work of the Legion team. The Hellborn team. The Hellborn team does have a much higher mobility factor whenever it comes to the Fayde and the Sandwraith, and even the Midas with the built-in blink. But it's going to be really interesting because if they can get an early mock on the Sandwraith, which has definitely come into favor recently. The mock is the build that we've been seeing come out on the Diamond tier. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see that reflective here in the Gold tier games. But it does seem to wreck, obviously, heroes that are going to make use of the portal key. So essentially, the Behemoth, the Balphamgore, and the Magmus. So let me see. I'm going to see if I can turn on camera smoothing here, guys. So it's Alt F8. Well, let me see if I can turn on camera smoothing. Camera smoothing on. Okay. Control F8. My goodness gracious. Control F8. Let's see if it saved my... Alright. That should be working now. Control F8. Yeah, there we go. We got the camera smoothing down. It's almost like we're like a professional casting organization here, except it's just me all by myself. So the strat pause is going a hell of a lot longer than I expected to do for a gold tier game. But at the moment, only a couple of heroes have their items. I'm wondering, since we only have the dedicated jungler in the Tempest, if the Legion team is going to make an effort to try to ward up the Hellborn jungle. We do see wards already purchased on the Riftwalker and the Behemoth, so if the Behemoth is playing in that short lane role, I imagine he's going to try to at least get himself some vision and or block one or two of these camps. It's depending upon how many wards that they give him. But at the moment, we are in the worst pause ever. Let me see if I can find out what's going on. Well, apparently one of the players on the Legion team had to AFK for a second, guys. So if I don't hear anything within the next minute, I'm gonna throw the "Be Right Back" screen up and give you guys some music, and hopefully we'll be back here in the next couple seconds or so. This is the one thing I dislike about casting these games is they are very casual, so the players treat them in that sense. Some of them take them very seriously, but a lot of these players take these games very casually, which is you know, to be expected. But I hate when pauses like this come on, especially when we sat in the lobby for almost 40 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to throw it on, I'm going to throw some music back up, and I'm going to throw it on. Oh, and never mind. I take it back. Our game is starting right now. Let's see if I can remember that. No, not F10, F12. There we go. Okay, that's the screen I'm looking for. So, like I said before, we have the Behemoth off lane. Or maybe Balphamgore off lane? No, okay, so they're sending the Klanx bottom short, which is to be expected. Balphamgore is going middle. Are they going to send the Riftwalker with him? I guess they are. So Balphamgore is going to go into the jungle? That's really interesting. Midas does get a ward down on the yellow camp. Snuck it in there right before Balphamgore had vision. That was a really nice play by Street Gank. But the Hellborn team is making a valiant effort to protect Tempest camps. The one thing that's really difficult about Tempest can flash farm, there's no doubt about it, but if you do block one or two of Tempest camps, she's really hard. She's not an easy hero to gank with at a really early level. It's not like an affiliate where you can pick up a good hard, like a good creep from the hard camp, whether that be a Minotaur or say a Catman champion or something like that, and gank at level 1 and essentially, you know, negate the block on the camp. But they don't get any blocks down, which is good for the Tempest. We are going to see the Riftwalker babysit the Klanx bottom, and I'm really curious to see how this Balphamgore jungle is going to work, especially since his yellow camp's been blocked. The Magmus is going to go head-to-head versus the Fayde middle, which should be an interesting matchup. Should be relatively even, barring the rotations from Tempest mid and Balphamgore middle. I have a feeling the Midas is not going to have as good of a time bottom as, well, you know what? I think that the Midas would actually have a better time faring bottom against the Riftwalker and the Klanx, as opposed to this Behemoth top who's getting completely zoned out already by the Empath and Sandwraith. But I am going to watch middle and bottom here. I have a feeling is where we're going to see our action more or less, because the Midas, being the ranged hero, is more in tune to actually staying in the fight, or at least trying to get some CS, where the Behe sort of just has to play it back, maybe try to get some stun kills. But that wall didn't really grant any vision to the Behemoth, and it looks like Empath's going to have to jump on, like, all the way on top of him before he actually gets sight. And the Behemoth is he's in man mode. He doesn't even care that this Tempest is basically straight up attacking him. And Empath has to be, I guess, has to worry a little bit in that role because B, he does hit like a truck, especially if he pops his Enrage.
Curve this.
Oh man, Behemoth is definitely getting low. This Empath is doing a lot of work. She has enough for a wall. She can throw up a wall. And it looks like the Desert Sand's going to hit. One more auto attack should do it. There you go. There's the Bloodlust. So Behemoth already having a bad time in the top lane. I just think that might have been Behemoth being a little bit too greedy. He needs the, I mean, obviously he's gonna expect being boxed out, but trying to man up that much. I mean, especially with the hero that has the ability to essentially, you know, dislocate you from the path that you want to walk down to draining your life and then stunning you once they get to a certain distance away. That, and I'm pretty sure Sandwraith doesn't care. Obviously, Sandwraith is not going to care about the Fissure. He can go right over top of it with the Desert's Curse. So I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Desert's Curse. All right. But it looks like Fayde is having a much better time middle. Let's look at the stats lines here. 10 and 2 compared to the 10 and... Oh, I guess nope. Pretty dead even. Midas bottom. 4 creep kills, 2 assists. I'm sorry, 2 assists. 2 denies versus the Behemoth who has 1 death and only 1 creep hilltop. But now that the creep wave is pushed to the tower, but Behemoth should have a little bit better time. There is no Empath here to try to block him or box him out. And if he would be here, he would just essentially push the creep wave into the tower even more than it already is. Looks like we have a little bit of action here. Magmus did stun in on the Fayde, it looks like. And that's one really bad thing that Magmus is going to have to adjust to is with the Fayde, whenever she calls, she steals his mana. And Magmus does not have that large of a mana pool in the first place. How much mana does call steal? Oh, okay, it's percentage. Well, still, that's still pretty ridiculous. You saw the call come out right there. Drop Magmus to a little above half-life after a couple auto attacks, below half-life, but his mana is pretty much dissipated. He's just burning, he's almost burning the bottle essentially just to keep his mana pool up. But as of right now, the Hellborn team with the 1,000 experience lead and the slight lead in gold, but I guess that's to be expected. They did get the Bloodlust kill, and oh, we have a little action there middle. Both heroes got low. So the bottom rune isn't an invis rune. Let's see if Magmus can actually make some use of this. But this Midas, he's actually faring really well. I mean, he has relatively decent experience per minute and a 300 experience per minute, which is obviously the biggest thing that you want to get out of a suicide roll. He has 10 creep kills, which is 170 GPM-ish right now, and it looks like this Behemoth's in a bad spot top again. It looks like the body blocks are trying to come out a little bit. I think he's going to fall here again, and he does. Behemoth does fall again. I sort of expected the Legion team to, I guess, have the better start. I don't know. I mean, there's still some decent stuns and slows that can come out of the Legion team, but I guess I expected the Hellborn team to have a better start. I don't know exactly what I said there 2 seconds ago, but I expected the Hellborn team to have a little bit better start and to see toward the mid game once we get some items on the Behemoth and the Balphamgore and the Magmus. You know, if that wombo combo has the potential to bring it back, but I don't know, the 225 GPM. Let's check on that Balphamgore in the jungle. He went first item Chalice. Oh man, his GPM is pretty weak. I don't know if Balphamgore jungle is really a viable option. I would rather see Balphamgore in the short lane. And this Midas, he is playing balls to the walls here. Riftwalker is going to pull him back. He's just going to be able to blink out. I don't know if they're going to be able to chase or not. It looks like Sandwraith, he does use the ultimate, and they try to get the transmute onto the Klanx. Sandwraith does port in, and he's in a really bad spot. It looks like the Balphamgore is going to rotate over, but I don't know if he has enough, you know, mana to do anything. He's going to barf all over the Midas here, but there's nothing really to follow it up with. They're going to try to put the chase. I don't even know if it was in Sandwraith's best interest to port bottom like that. I mean, all he's doing is just freeing the Behe up to gain that experience that he'd been missing out on for the first 6 minutes of the game. And I don't know if he thought that they were going to be able to get a kill on Klanx bottom, but Obviously, it didn't pan out that way. Man, the Hellborn team, they're definitely doing their due diligence to make sure that they have vision of this lane, and I missed the kill bottom. Looks like Fayde ended up getting a kill on the Riftwalker. Riftwalker, 70 GPM. Oh, this is why Merrick's Bounty is going to make a completely most ridiculous change ever on the scene. Fayde uses the call to steal the mana and the health from Magmus. He's going to end up falling. The Fisher sort of fucked both of them there. The pathing put Magmus into the tower because of the creep wave, and Behemoth is now in a really shitty spot. So the GPM charts right now, we have Fayde at 360 GPM. That's exactly what you need out of a Fayde. You need a really big start on her. She's a hero just like Pebbles. She's a hero just like... She's a steamroll hero is basically what she is. If she has a shitty start, you're going to have a really bad game for the entire team. If she has a great start, your odds of winning are much, much higher. But she's neck and neck with the Sandwraith, and the Sandwraith is the other hero on the Hellborn team that you obviously want really good GPM on. I imagine he's going to go first item mock after boots. You might see something come out. Maybe an Abyssal Skull. I don't know. Okay, yeah, we're probably going to see the Abyssal Skull come out. He does have the Ring of the Teacher. And then maybe mock. I don't know. Maybe he just might sit on the ring and go mock, depending upon how his farm is over the next maybe 5 minutes or so. But he is farming at the 350 GPM mark, which is great. But this Fayde is going to end up catching this Klanx, and she does get the call off on him. And Riftwalker is in a really bad spot too. I don't know exactly what she thought she was going to do, but if this... Oh, I thought the Sandwraith was for sure going to pour it in, but I think the Fayde is going to be able to do this herself. She does. She lands the second call on the Riftwalker, and that's a double tap for Frost. Magmus, he does have vision of the Fayde. He does disjoint the... Oh, man. Just the amount of damage the call on the transmute. Well, he didn't actually land the transmute. But Balphamgore is charging in here. Midas's blink is down. Balphamgore pops the ultimate to ensure the kill on the Midas. I don't know how many charges were on that Balphamgore ultimate. But at least the Legion team walked away with a kill. It's the first kill on the board for the Legion team. They are down 4,000 experience, 4,000 gold at the 9-minute mark. Not looking too great. But once we get those PKs on Behemoth, Magmus, and Balphamgore, this game could turn in an instant. An absolute instant. Looks like Fayde did end up picking up the Grave Locket, which is an absolutely great item on her. You can't split it, but Grave Locket, if she does decide to turn it into a Sackstone later on in the game, is an amazing team fight. So, she hasn't put on her character yet. Where's she at? Middle? I just imagine she's waiting on the courier. But it looks like we are going to see a little bit of recess in the action here. Midas is... I don't know why the Legion team, they're playing so far back. I think that they think, for some reason, that the Hellborn team is down here. I mean, they have a lane ward, so they know that they didn't come in from the tower, and they have river wards, so they know that they didn't enter into the jungle unless they're that afraid of a Fayde, whose ultimate is back off cooldown now, and she is at the side shop. I mean, sorry, at the observatory top. She's going to run right into this Behemoth. She might even be able to go solo kill on him. Let's see how much damage the call does. Call does, and oh, okay, just enough damage to finish him off. So Frost already with let's look here. He's already has 5 kills. 5 kills, 360 GPM, only 40 creep kills. So obviously, a nice bulk of that is coming from the hero farm, the hero farm that the character currently has. The Hellborn team is doing a great job of keeping aggressive vision up, whether it's behind the tower bottom, behind the tower top. I guess you're not really getting vision of the ancients here, but you do have vision of the top rune and a pretty decent vision of mid. Looks like we have some action going on bottom. Looks like Fayde's going to jump on this Riftwalker. Riftwalker is just going to melt. Transmute comes out. Call and stun from the Fayde. This Fayde is basically dictating this entire game right now, single-handedly. One thing that the Legion team needs to do is they just need to put up some defensive rev wards, whether they're in the trees or what. But it looks like Sandwraith is going to ultimate, and is he going to pour it in? He does not pour it in. So Midas is in another bad spot. He's going to try to blink away, but the Fissure, looking for the Fissure stun. Fissure stun does come out. Wall comes out, but the wall... Magmus does stun through. He's on top of the Fayde right now. The Riftwalker pullback misses, but we have all 5 characters from the Legion team bottom right now. With everybody down here, I think they should probably try to push. Sandwraith solo pushed the top lane, popped the ultimate and didn't actually port, which is what he probably should have done earlier on in the game, and he would probably be over, you know, 450 GPM at this point. Maybe not quite, but definitely when he ported bottom and he didn't get any kills earlier on in the game, it definitely delayed his farm because he just basically walked all the way back to base and then TP top. Fayde is coming in again bottom. They did have vision of him entering the river, so they got to know that he's here. They don't have any rev wards down, though, so if they do want to try to defend this, they can. Hellborn's courier just got killed by the Behemoth? That's interesting. Behemoth does open up with a shockwave on the Fayde. I don't know if she was dusted or what, but she immediately melted. I don't know if they had an idea that she was there or what. I don't know how she revealed herself. Maybe the ultimate wore off. But this might put them in a position to actually get a second tower. They still have all 5 heroes bottom here. And it would make the most sense for them to try to pressure this tower down. Without the Fayde, they don't have the AoE stun, with the exception of the transmute. But the transmute is like a surefire 2 skill shot in a row. Midas looks like he is going to fall. A lot of abilities come out. And it looks like the Behemoth ultimate is going to be down. Riftwalker doesn't have her ultimate yet. Balphamgore, he didn't use his ultimate in those team fights, which is actually pretty interesting. Fayde is sitting on 500 gold. I thought she would have been closer to her portal key, but apparently not. She is going to go the stat build, which you know, I do like that. The grave, like I said earlier on, the grave locket is a great item for especially turning into that sackstone later on in the game. I don't know if the... Man, so the Legion team, they do have relatively decent push with the Fissure and the Balphamgore minions and the Riftwalker hole and AoE magic, so they probably could rotate right to the middle lane and 5-man push the mid lane to try to get fast track on the portal keys mid. Magmus does stun in. I don't know if he was trying to hit the Empath or what, but yeah, if I was the Legion team here, I would try to, you know, just keep the pressure up, keep the tower pressure up. The one thing the Hellborn team can't do is they cannot push towers at the rate, right now, they cannot push towers at the rate that the Legion team can. Once Battle Tempest gets built up here a little bit with the Astro and the Ring, which she already has, she'll have her minions, but the thing about the Tempest minions, the big difference between the Tempest minions and the Balphamgore minions is that the Balphamgore minions instantaneously spawn at the mass amount of whatever they may be. They do attack at a little bit faster rate, and Fayde is... Wow. Talk about lucky. Catching that Klanx right above the yellow camp, running around at, I don't know what, not even a third life. So that's the thing. If you are the Hellborn team, why wouldn't you have just like a, I don't know, say a Rev ward here, or an Invis ward here. You know, something, just... Or in a tree, in a random set of trees. Put it in the middle of the trees here. Middle of the trees here. And this is what I was going to say about the Tempest minions before. They don't attack at the rate that the Balphamgore minions do. And when they do attack towers, wow. Okay, so Magmus just blew his ultimate on minions. I don't know. Being that close to level 11, I don't know if that was actually the smartest thing to do. It looks like the Fissure does come out. Big Behemoth ultimate. Kills a lot. I'm waiting for the Balphamgore ultimate to come out. You know, I don't know if he has the man. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It must have went off and I just missed it. The Balphamgore's in a really bad spot, too. Fayde does have enough mana to land the blind stun. It looks like Klanx is going to come back in and try to do some damage here, some right-click damage. Might be able to get a kill on the Midas here, but it looks like they're going to dive past the tower and try to get onto this Klanx. Klanx is putting out relatively decent right-click damage if he can hawk up. Oh, man. The chase is real, and the lockdown is hard. But the little gap that they did close with the bottom lane push, they just gave back up again in that mid-fight engagement. It was just bad all the way around. Magmus was out of an ultimate, stunned in, only hit one hero. Being that close to level 11 with the pulse duration difference on Magmus's ultimate, you'd think he'd just wait, just hold off. Like, there's not a rush. If anything, what you're trying to do is just try to delay until you can get a portal key on at least your Balphamgore and your Behemoth. Oh, Magmus has his portal key. He doesn't really have anything in the way of stats. He needs some kind of stats. But it looks like the portal key just came out on the Behemoth. So 2 portal keys down, 1 to go. Just look at the war job that's coming out here from the Hellborn team. A little bit, I'm really curious about this ward here. Don't really understand that ward here. I guess maybe whenever they were pushing the bottom lane, that makes sense. But the Hellborn team is still really aggressive. And they are going to find Magmus bottom. He's going to fall. A lot of lockdown. Just between the Midas and the Fayde. If Fayde can land the line stun, what the hell is it called? Burning Shadows. If she can land the... Is that what it is? Burning Shadows? Yeah. If she can land the Burning Shadows, it's like a guaranteed transmute for the Midas. Legion team. Stu McDo. So, Chunks does push the top tier tower, but does fall in the process. I think he's still just trying to get his portal key. But it's really shocking to me at this point. I don't know if is that just out of range? I forget the key to draw or to measure. Oh well. Wow. Okay. the ward's placed basically on top of Midas, and they don't have vision of him. Transmute does come out. If he does decide to blank, it's probably going to be a kill. Oh my god! One more auto attack would have done it. Midas, you couldn't have hit for maybe, you know, 2 or 3 damage more. Sandwraith is going. Sandwraith's going to ultimate to try to get the cleanup kill on the Klanx, but he's already in the base at that point in time. Sandwraith is farming big. He does finish the Abyssal Skull when he's sitting on 4,800 gold. I imagine he's just going to basically right-click that. What are we got coming out here on the courier? Oops. Okay, so there's the Malk. The Malk of Brilliance was just finished on the Sandwraith. So basically, how it's going to work for the Legion team, you can say love. You can say love, it's easier. Stu McDo. Oh, okay. Heard of Drafts love. I played against you in the Team M game the other day. You raped Martin and I as a deadlift. We were playing Doctor something top. Doctor Curse, you destroyed us. But looks like looks like Fayde does get another kill. She's probably gonna fall here to this Klanx unless she regens fast enough, which she gets the blink off before the bang goes out, which is really good. It looks like Magmus and Behemoth did get a kill on the Sandwraith top, which is really huge. I didn't see that coming out, but they're overextending. They're definitely overextending. Tempest. Oh my gosh, Tempest missed the hole. Missed the hole and immediately canceled it. Blew the ultimate. Looks like they are going to try to turn this. This Tempest is in a really bad spot. They do land the transmute on the Magmus. Magmus is still alive, still alive. The Hell on Newer does come out from the Balphamgore. Oh no, wait a second. I'm sorry. That wasn't Hell on Newer. That was the Behemoth jumping in. It looks like they are going to try to chase down this Balphamgore and get the kill. Balphamgore is still 1,000 gold. He needs that circle thing that showed when you clicked the rev is the range of the rev. The circle thing I clicked. Well, if Sandwraith did want to pour it in there, that would have been an easy kill on that Riftwalker, but apparently he decides not to go. Yeah, I remember that was fun. No, well, maybe it was fun for you. It wasn't fun for me. I went like 1 in 10 as an accursed. But right now, the Hellborn team is in a serious lead. The one thing that the Hellborn team needs to do is if they push, they need to preemptively Sandwraith ultimate. Because if he ulties, that basically negates anything that can come out of the Wombo combo. None of the heroes, the big heroes, have shrunken heads. They're throwing up fake concede votes. Oh, man. Who dropped? What? Wow. True mentality dropped. So that was the Sandwraith. The Sandwraith dropped. What the hell was that? And they jump the Empath middle and she dies. What? What the hell happened? Alright, it went from being an, not a shit stomp, but it, you know, a relatively decent lead on the Hellborn team to, them essentially throwing with a drop? I'm really confused. See if I can find out. I don't know if that was a, yeah, they're throwing out the concede votes. I don't think they can win this without the Sandwraith. The Sandwraith was the bulk of their damage. Well, at least the bulk of the right-click damage. I mean, if Tempest lands a 5-man hole and you have a Transmute and Burning Shadows come out, I mean, that could be a wipe, but that's a lot of ifs. Balphamgore's just straight up pushing the top lane. Fayde probably could have opened on that Balf there. I don't know if she didn't think she had enough time. But it looks like this tower is going to fall top. I don't even know if she's... Okay, they do pop the clip. Is Empath going to be able to stop this? It looks like the Balf minions are going in to try to do some distraction. The tower's just going to sit at 60-some life. Tempest is living dangerously. It looks like they're going to try to jump on this Behemoth mid lane. But I have a feeling this Tempest is going to fall in the end. Fayde does get a kill on the Behemoth, and they are going to chase this Tempest down. Tempest is going to fall. Hell on Newark does come out, and they are going to try to chase this Fayde. Fayde does have the portal key, but she's not going to be able to get it off. And her ultimate's not up for another 5 seconds. If she gets away, I will shit my pants. She does get away with the blink. Incredible. And it looks like Midas is jumping in, and he's trying to do as much right-click transmute damage as he possibly can. Magmus does land the stun, and jumping in the middle of 4 heroes that have full health is probably not the best, because the right-click alone. Oh, man. Fayde's probably going to get a double tap here. So he gets the double tap, and then they concede. Wow. So that's it. That's really sad. We're going to disconnect here, guys. And, yeah, so the Sandwraith disconnected. I don't know what the hell happened or what. I'd really like to know what the hell happened. But even after the disconnect, he was at 374 GPM, being gone for the last 4 minutes or so. I don't know if it was a rage disconnect after getting killed top lane against the Magmus and the Behemoth. But, I'm sorry, the Magmus and the Balphamgore. But, Fayde was doing work that game. Had that game... Were you on IC? Yes. Someone logged onto the account he was currently playing on. Since it was shared. It was shared. Oh, it was a shared account. And it booted him. Oh my gosh. That's so terrible. Well, it looks like they are going to run another game. Maybe. Let's find out here. That's really unfortunate. That would have been a really good game to see plan out. The Hellborn team had a pretty decent lead. But, you know, you never can discount the portal keys and the AoE ultimates. The Legion team definitely had a really, really good team fight. So, as of right now, guys, I'm just going to call this one... Call it a wash? I don't know. I mean, it's a game we'll just have to... say what if. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the be right back screen, throw up some music. Thanks for tuning in. I think we're gonna have another game come back. If we don't, I will come back and let you guys know, and I will sign off. So thanks for